Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Alex of Coyote Star Astrology, and this is my video for the full moon in Capricorn coming in on July 13th, 2022, which is a Wednesday here in California. However, make sure that you adjust for your current location as that time and date may change. This is looking like a pretty powerful full moon, albeit not the most buoyant. It's a bit sobering. And my first instinct is to tell you that this full moon doesn't really care about your feelings. It just wants you to pull it together and prepare for what is just around the corner, which is a lot. And the reason that I say this is that this full moon really packs a punch. You can see that the moon here in Capricorn has a little friend. And that friend is Lord Pluto. So we have a full moon conjunct Pluto. So although this is a Capricorn full moon, it's going to come in with, and you're probably already feeling this, it's going to come in with a little bit of a scorpionic intensity. And we can see that the moon is also in opposition to the sun and Mercury in sensitive Cancer. So right away, we see this theme of an illumination of Capricorn themes, which I'll get into in a minute, that are in contrast to our more sensitive emotional needs, wants, and processes. Capricorn is about maturity. It's about consequences, taking responsibility, looking at our goals, making our success and achievement and what we ultimately want for the long term our priority. Capricorn is about assessing what's in front of us and making good decisions for ourselves. It's about boundaries. It's very no nonsense. It can feel a bit punishing, but of course it's kind of how we respond to that energy that matters. But what I love about this full moon is that it is in trine to our north node. So I feel like this full moon is going to ground a little bit of the emotional seas that we have been churning through, particularly since that last new moon in Cancer, which was square Jupiter and conjunct Black Moon Lilith. So the collective has had a lot of this emotional stuff coming up, this more feminine response to situations and circumstances. And Capricorn is the more masculine response. It's like, pull it together, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and really make these more structural, goal-oriented aspects of life the priority for now. And I think that this is very timely and important, even though it can be difficult. I think that it's in our best interest to do so because of what we have happening at the North Node. You can see that the planet Uranus, I can't believe we're here already, is only 2 degrees away from the North Node. So we are feeling this aspect now, but towards the end of the month, on the 30th of July, they will make their exact conjunction. This is huge, and definitely mark your calendars about this. Know that this is coming, and then please do leave me some comments when we all go through this shift, because I know we're all going to just be like, holy crap, at the end of this month, because Uranus is going to force each individual through new perspective, potentially startling occurrences, things that come out of nowhere, things that we couldn't have foreseen. That's how Uranus operates. Uranus is going to force each one of us to make that quantum evolutionary leap to the North Node. He's doing it now, but just wait. I mean, it's just only going to build and build and build throughout this month, and then boom, 30th, 31st, and the 1st of August, when they make that exact conjunction, dare I say, none of us are really going to have a choice but to get there, because Uranus is a powerful, powerful planet. And I'm looking forward to this, and I'm sure all of us are kind of feeling this energy Being brought to the North Node in Taurus means each one of us is having to release our grasp or release our involvement with the South Node Scorpio energies. And obviously for each one of us, that's going to be different. But each person individually has been battling their own version of South Node Scorpio energies. A lot of this has had to do with relationship because of that polarity to Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So approaching relationships in a new way has definitely been a collective growth lesson. And because of the Uranian influence, a lot of people are really changing their perspective on how they approach relationship in almost like a Uranian or Aquarian experimental way. And also being given that objective perspective on the way that they have participated in relationships thus far. South Node Scorpio brings up a lot of things like codependency, secrets, manipulation, power dynamics, all of this. So a lot of this is coming up and being transmuted. I think that new moon in Cancer recently, what's nice about that is that it illuminated for many people where a lot of that stems from, which for so many of us involves early childhood programming and dynamics between our parents, whatever. So we're kind of on this journey of doing a lot of shadow work, even if it doesn't involve relationships, even if it's about addiction or whatever, Scorpio stuff. It's forcing each person to look at where these afflictions and shadows are rooted from. And over the last couple weeks, a lot of people have been confronting that. And now here comes this intense full moon in Capricorn to kind of say, okay, now what are you going to do about it? What things in life need to be eliminated in order to get to this North Node in Taurus, which represents a better life of stability and self-reliance? Not reaching outside of ourselves and attaching to things for comfort, whether that be substances or another human or whatever it is. It's challenging. It's a huge growth leap. The North Node always is. You know, we use these words to describe the North Node like highest self and our soul's mission, but what people need to realize is that this is something that the soul has not learned yet. And in order to learn it, we have to release something. It's part of it. So you're going to feel building over the remainder of this month, and particularly at the end, that whatever you're still attaching to in that South Node Scorpio area of your chart, you're going to be asked to release. And positively, we can all expect at the end of the month and coming in towards then, the new reality coming in. This might mean new relationship themes coming in, Taurus. It could mean new financial themes coming in, approaching finances in a new way, or wherever this North Node in Taurus is transiting your chart, it's really going to invite you to step up in an entirely new way than you ever have before. So I feel like this full moon in Capricorn is preparing us for that shift that's coming in, helping us to process some of the emotions that new moon in Cancer stirred up. And to me, it feels like these streamlining energies. Like I said before, Capricorn is very no nonsense. It's kind of like, yeah, I know this is hard, but like at a certain point, we got to kind of like, you know, move forward. Another big thing that we have happening in the chart right now that is interesting to say the least and a little bit different. On the topic of relationships, Venus, we can see here at 24 degrees Gemini, is in exact square to Neptune at 25. She actually goes to 25 later on the 13th. So this is an exact square between Venus and Neptune. And if you watch my videos, you probably know That Neptune we refer to as the planet of illusion and fantasy. Yes, Neptune is where we can get into our imagination and create these altered transcendental states of our ideals and our manifestations and our dreams, all of this. But when there's a square, that's a tense aspect, meaning we're not going to see necessarily the more high octave version of Neptune. We're going to see the more illusory, deceptive, confusing, delusional aspect of Neptune. And so then we want to look at Venus to understand what that might bring up for her. Well, Venus is in Gemini, where she's experimental, inquisitive. She's willing to consider different options. She's flexible, right? She likes variety when she's in Gemini. And Venus in Gemini is honestly open to anything that's going to expand her intellectual horizons. That's sort of her MO. But when Neptune squares her, you could understand that Gemini, with all of these different perspectives, when it gets squared by delusion, that creates a very confusing dynamic. It creates this dynamic. I said this on my Instagram, which I'll put up on the screen now if you don't follow me there. I do a lot of written reports there for astrology. I talked about how Gemini squared by Neptune in Pisces always reminds me of the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland that's up in the tree and he's kind of pointing in different directions, laughing, taunting, confusing Alice when she's really just trying to get home. That's what Neptune square Gemini feels like to me. It's like, is this the truth or is that the truth? If I look at it this way, it's one way. If I look at it that way, it's another way. So this transit, Venus square Neptune, has been coming in since the, I think the 5th, the beginning of this month. But it is peaking, interestingly, during this full moon. So that's a bit confusing, particularly when it comes to relationships, because, you know, Venus rules relationships. So there can be this moment where we're not exactly sure what's real, what's true, which direction to go, which option to choose. And then obviously, if you're not feeling that in relationships, you want to look at where Venus is transiting your chart by house, and that's going to help you narrow down where that theme is hitting you specifically. But it is a confusing transit, and we definitely want to wait until that mellows out in the week or two following to kind of know exactly what that means. And in astrology, we always look to the opposition to understand kind of how to navigate that. And then the opposition of Gemini is, of course, Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is about our intuition and higher truth. So where Gemini can get lost in the mind of like, well, I think it's this way, but I also think it's that way. Sagittarius taps into its intuition, its gut, its instinct, and is like, no, my gut tells me it's this way. That's what's right for me. And then when we look at the opposition of Neptune in Pisces, we find Virgo, which is grounded and practical and logical. So what this time is asking from us in that sort of equation, it's pretty clear. It's like, tap into your intuition. Don't get lost in your mind. Tap into intuitively what is right for you for the long term. We also see that Saturn is trine Venus. So that's why I bring in the long term. Saturn is like, what's practical here? Saturn is the ruler of our Capricorn moon. So Saturn's playing a big role right now. He's saying, what is actually practical for you to put your energies into at this time? He's also squaring the North Node and the South Node. So he knows what's about to happen for all of us. He's going, you're going to the North Node. We all must. That's our evolutionary growth process, collectively and individually. And when we don't answer the call to collective or individual evolution, there are consequences. Right? So This full moon, I think it's a big turning point, honestly, because I think that the sobering quality of that lunation is going to kind of just really help us reassess where the hell we're trying to go, despite all the emotions and the confusions and all of that. Also worth mentioning that Mars is now in Taurus. Yay! Which I really like, because the closer and closer and closer that he gets to the North Node, the more assistance we have in this growth process, which is hard. So it's good to have a little helper. Am I right? Mars in Taurus is a great helper. Grounded, hardworking, focused on the prize, focused on like gathering good things in life. Money, abundance, health, good relationships, all the things that fucking matter. All the things that, like, you know, at the end of the day, make life function and make life easier. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. The algorithm sucks, so the more help you can give me in that area, the better. I did want to make a quick announcement. I do have the recording available for the Saturn return course that I launched a while ago. It's not up on the website yet. I haven't gotten to it, but if you are interested in that recording and the pricing and everything, just shoot me an email at coyotestarastrology@gmail.com. And I can give you that information. And regarding readings, I still have my books closed. I'm gearing up for surgery next month. I'm going to be taking a whole month off. So I've got them closed, but I do have a little wait list running, and I'm ticking people off as I can open up my books. So if you want to be on that wait list, again, feel free to reach out to me at coyotestarastrology@gmail.com. And I put my website up there on the screen as well if you're just more interested in reading about what I offer. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful full moon in Capricorn.